Thanks for asking why the Gospel of John. If I were in your shoes and being asked to give a book of the Bible to someone, I'd be thinking, well, which book would I give? We think the Gospel of John is the perfect book. And we've got 4 reasons for that. And I want to unpack each of those with you right now. Let me tell you what the number 1 reason is. The number 1 reason is the writer of John's Gospel says he wrote it for this purpose. Here's what he says in chapter 20, verse 31. But these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. John the Gospel writer calls out this as his purpose for writing the book. The second reason is because in the first 14 verses, you will meet Jesus and you will meet yourself. In the first 14 verses. Let me unpack that a little bit. The first 14 verses clearly tell you Jesus is God come to earth. In today's world, we're all being conditioned to receive information quickly. John's Gospel hits this note. It's the best gospel at getting people right to the point. The other thing the first 14 verses speak to is us. They speak of darkness and how the world did not know him. There was a time when all of us did not know him. I went to church for many years. I knew about Jesus, but I really didn't know him. And not only do you meet Jesus, but by verse 14, you are invited to become a member of the family. Here's what it says. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but God. The second reason is because John's Gospel gets to the point. Let's look at reason number 3. Reason number 3 is that John's Gospel is in many ways like the Cliff Notes of the Bible. Let me explain. It's in John's Gospel that you hear phrases like the Lamb of God, the Good Shepherd, the Passover sacrifice, and more. Imagine a person who's never read the Bible. They're not going to understand those allusions, but the Gospel primes them. Just think about them reading Exodus for the first time as God's feeding the people in the desert, and their mind then goes back to Jesus being the bread of life. John's Gospel is full of those allusions. And so the third reason that we love John's Gospel is it really is kind of like a set of cliff notes for the entire narrative of the Bible. And the fourth reason is that John's Gospel speaks to the philosophical forces of our own day. It speaks to the philosophical forces of our own day. Let me just give you one example. Consider how John's Gospel starts in the beginning. Those 3 words make a huge philosophical statement that the universe had a beginning. For centuries, people denied this situation because if there is a beginning, then the immediate question is who or what caused the universe to begin? This gospel clearly asserts that the universe was brought into being by a grand plan that was from God. The gospel, again, within the first 14 verses, notes that Jesus existed before time, was at the creation, and is indeed God come to earth. The list goes on. The point is that the Gospel of John stands against the philosophies that deny God as the creator of the universe, as the sustainer of the universe, as the redeemer of the universe. So at this point, maybe you're ready. Maybe you're ready to consider the Gospel of John. We would love for you to use one of our helps. It's called the 21-Day Challenge. You can click below and get right to that. But I pray that you'll just think about the power of this gospel. It speaks to our need and to this world in so many ways.